Well, Susan Lee's run as leader of the Liberal Party could be over in just a few hours' time. Let's go live to Connor McGovern at Parliament House. Connor, good morning to you. Angus Taylor is in the box seat to replace her.
Sarah, the numbers are falling his way. The Liberal Party room preparing for a leadership showdown at 9 o'clock when Angus Taylor takes on Susan Lee. He's the Conservative challenger. She's the incumbent who's been given less than a year in the job. But under her leadership, Liberal MPs say they're bleeding 50,000 votes a week. In a few hours, just 51 votes will decide the party's future. Sarah.
Thank you, Connor. RBA Governor Michelle Bullock has sharply fired back at accusations from National Senator Matt Canavan, claiming she's deceiving the public with her view of the economy.
People are only going to get angrier in this country if they're gaslit into thinking that the economy is okay when their lived experience is absolutely terrible.
Senator,
right
I
now.
take exception to that comment.
Well,
I am not
as I have taken exception to saying
gaslighting
things are
anyone.
okay.
Let us speak.
I have said that there are certain aspects of the economy which are doing well, and one of them is the labour market, which is positive for people.
The RBA Governor went on to acknowledge Australians' economic struggles.
10,000 anti-Israel protesters have turned out in Melbourne condemning the Israel president and the Australian government for letting him enter the country. Let's go live to Stephanie Wacklewick in Melbourne. Steph, good morning to you. There was a heavy police presence.
Carl, it was incredible. Hundreds of police were pulled from other duties to manage any potential violence. But despite 10,000 people packing into the CBD to protest, it was mostly peaceful. The crowd did chant "Globalise the Intifada," "Free Palestine," and did demand the arrest of the Israeli president as they marched from Flinders Street Station to State Parliament. But those fears of violence didn't transpire. Just one person was arrested, a 39-year-old man from Coburg North. For assaulting police, he is expected to be charged on summons.
Thank you, Steph.
Turning now to the latest in the search for Nancy Guthrie. The focus right now on a white tent that was set up a few hours ago just outside her home. Let's go live to Reid Butler, who is there for us. Reid, what's happening now?
Sarah, the white tent has now been packed up, but it is the first time something like that has been here at Nancy Guthrie's properties in the past 12 days. That is when Guthrie was taken from the home. The understanding here is it had something to do with that security footage from the doorbell camera. New footage as well as circulating this morning, Sarah, showing somebody who looks similar with backpacks lurking around properties nearby Nancy Guthrie's home. So the FBI looking very closely at that this morning.
Reid, thank you.
The Queen has visited a police headquarters in Bristol to hear about their work tackling domestic abuse and sexual violence. Camilla met emergency call handlers, praising them for their bravery. Meanwhile, the Princess of Wales showed off her arts and craft skills on a visit to a London school to mark Children's Mental Health Week. And Postecoglou has delivered a searing assessment of Tottenham's ownership and board following the sacking of his successor, Thomas Frank. Speaking on the Overlap podcast, the Australian manager claimed that Spurs are not a big club.
When you walk into Tottenham, what you see everywhere is to dare is to do. It's everywhere. And yet their actions are almost the antithesis of that. Right. Tottenham, as a club, were saying we're one of the big boys. And the reality is I don't think they are, in terms of my experience over the last 2 years.
Another one of Postecoglou's replacements has also lost his job, with Sean Dyche dismissed by Nottingham Forest.
Well, we've seen bikini-wearing and shirtless customers banned from cafes. Now they're being left off a popular bus on Sydney's northern beaches after elderly passengers complained.
I don't know if it's just elderly passengers. Let's go live to Sarah Stewart in Manly.
Really?
Sarah, good morning to you. Commuters are being told to cover up.
They certainly are being told to cover up. This is a bus operating in and around Manly Beach, so you can imagine some of the passengers are getting on in their bikinis, they're getting on in their board shorts, and we are being told, Sarah, that it is some of the elderly passengers that use this bus regularly that they're complaining. They're saying it is too confronting seeing these young people getting on wearing not much clothing. They're saying it is also a bit unhygienic. So as a result, now the bus has said, nope, you're not getting on unless you're wearing clothes over your swimwear. So no, regardless of which side of the seat you are sitting on, rules and rules. And if you're getting on now, bikinis are out and clothes are in.
Just put a towel down at least, honestly. You don't want a wet bum on a seat.
What's happened to you, Saz?
They can wear bikinis, but just as long as their bums aren't wet.
It's a nanny state.
It's hygiene. It's called hygiene.
Getting older, says.
Maybe.
We'll take a look at the weather now across the country, and widespread rainfall forecast for Queensland, with the heaviest conditions expected to hit southeast of the state.
Cloud is hovering over Sydney, Melbourne and Hobart, and a sunny day to end the working week in the west. Welcome back. Well, US police are pursuing a new lead in the disappearance of TV star Savannah Guthrie's mother after discovering a black glove.
For more, let's bring in former FBI agent Andy Black in Hawaii. He knows this neck of the woods pretty well, though. Andy, good morning to you. First up, these gloves are being tested for DNA. How long will these results take, do you think?
It depends what the quality of the material is that they recover. This is a potentially case-breaking piece of evidence that the FBI evidence response team recovered. They do great work. You know, it was recovered about a mile and a half from the Guthrie residence. What's encouraging is they're reporting that they found 2 gloves, which I find encouraging. They're going to look to see if they get any type of evidence on those gloves that ties it to the residence. It could be blood from Nancy Guthrie. Then we know those are the gloves that were used by the perpetrator in this case. And that opens up the door for a wealth of other evidence they can get from those gloves. Fingerprints, DNA from whoever was wearing it, hairs, fibers. This could be a real break in the case. On the other hand, if it's not tied to the case, we'll have to continue on.
Andy, I guess it's obvious that they're confident that this is tied to the case, but it's been 12 days and they were just found, by the looks of it, on the side of a highway. How were they not discovered before now?
You know, these kidnapping cases, this is being investigated in the public. So this is a unique case. And because of that, you can imagine these investigators getting flooded with thousands of leads. And they have a command center and a command post that's set up, and they have to prioritize these leads. And if they see like they have a good lead, they're going to put their energy and their resources to that. In all kidnapping investigations and homicide investigations, you begin at the center of the crime scene and work your way out. Yeah, you think maybe this could have been found sooner, but it is, I've been told it's between a mile and a mile and a half. They found out that is a large area. The important thing is they have found it now. It would have been nice had they found it earlier, but it is what we have right now.
Andy, I have a question just from a procedural point of view. In any crime scene in Australia, in terms of fanning out the investigation, it starts with CCTV and that technology that exists around the house, and then, you know, perhaps in cars, on people's doors around the neighbourhood, and then traffic and so on and so forth. Why has it taken them so long to start those searches?
I don't know if it's taken them so long. You have to understand, I lived there, I worked there for 4 years. This is an extremely remote area, and it is very poorly lit. They do not like street lights. They consider it light pollution, and so it's very dark. Even if you see, you watch that video of the abductor, it's very dark behind him. So the footage you can get from cameras in the neighborhood, and the homes are spaced far apart, it's going to make it more difficult to get usable, credible digital video that they can utilize. Now, I know this, they have more information than they're sharing, so we don't know exactly what they have. So I don't want to criticize how they're collecting the digital evidence or not.
All right, Andy, that's really good insight. Thank you so much for joining us.
We'll talk to you again.
Yeah,
thanks, Andy.